Hey everyone, long time
One
now.
Piece, 1126.
How rude. We've got Luffy, we've got Kizaru, we've got a fight on our hands. The first time Luffy is gonna fight an admiral since the time skip, where he's not gonna call out, "I'm gonna punch you here," or "I'm gonna throw a kick in this direction."
Uh-huh.
It's gonna be a serious fight.
I can't wait.
I know, me either. No more talking. I'm Mike.
Tasha.
And we're Billion Beri. Let's do this.
What is with this smog?
Yeah. I guess there was a big battle there, so it's probably the smoke from all the explosions.
I guess. Oh, we reached the top. And he's just taking every hit.
Yeah, I mean, he's got, like, no juice left to fight back.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh! Ursa shock.
He sure condensed that fast compared to Thriller Bark.
I know, right? Sakazuki.
歴史的な破壊事件じゃぞ、クマ。おい、赤犬。昨夜のディナーにロブスターを所望したのに品切れであったぞ。こっちで制御できんのなら、お前みてえな危なっかしいやつは野放しにはできんぞ。自我はとうに消えたはず。どこ行こうっちゅんじゃ。
Come on, Revolutionary Army, show up. Oh.
No.
一丁前に血は流れるようじゃの。
Run away! Run, run, run! Wherever it is you're going, get there already.
Right? This early days?
Maybe.
Looked like it went back in time.
Oh, Bonnie.
Oh. This is when Blackbeard captured her.
Oh. Volunteered, I'm sure. Maybe he thinks Bonnie's here. Wasn't she with Sabo at one point in time here? They were running down the hall together and stuff?
Yeah, possibly. Says the puppet.
Right. Says the guy executing people because there's no lobster.
Right. Justice. Right into it.
Waste no time getting that culverin going.
He's still just so chill.
Yeah. I wonder if Luffy thinks if he goes fast enough, he can beat.
You don't know why he defeated Kaido yet. Old man apple.
Oh, he sees it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, time for your sacred jewel or whatever.
Do you have any free will there, Kizaru? What is that?
Oh, his foot. Okay.
Oh. Oh!
And there it goes.
Well, that was probably to wreck their plan of the robot getting them past the brigade.
Yeah. But Luffy can just do it in Gear 5 Giant if he wanted to.
Right? Just toss it.
Let's get out of there quick.
Yeah.
Run!
It's gonna explode! Oof. Good thing the ground's so soft.
Yeah.
Yeesh. Oh, crap.
ずいぶん大きくなったね、ボニー。お前の嫌いなドクター・ベガパンクに抹殺命令が出たよ。
私が狙うべき相手は変わったんだよ。
She knows the truth now, whatever that is.
Right.
Yeah.
Not kill you. Oh.
傷つけさせないでくれよ。
Oh, crap. Ugh.
Ooh. And Gear 5 catches. Oh. Or not.
Nope, just gonna smack into the wall.
てめえ、キザル。
Like, you can't hurt me with Radical Beam. I am Radical Beam.
Right?
どこだ、ウソップか。みんな無事か。
Get to the point, Frankie.
やったぞー。防御システムの解除コードが解けた。
Heh. You beat yourself.
Phrasing.
Yeah.
見たかよく。
私の荷物を船まで運んでくれんか。
Luggage? You're worried about luggage right now?
大事なものなんじゃ。よし。
Oh, maybe it's something for Kuma.
メガフォースワンと船は裏手に運べたか。いや、それが。
Say the word Kizaru.
Right?
Stop beating her on the bush. He is coming. Go.
ベガパンク。
Yeah, he got swatted a little bit, but he'll pick himself back up.
He's gonna do what he did to Kaido and just like have a giant hand like come grab him.
Yeah.
Yank him out.
夢の巨大ロボ吹き飛んじまったよ。わしだってきつい任務長引かせたかない。なんじゃ。
Here he comes to save the day.
Drums! You know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Luffy. Pull it together. Pull it together. That's the only unreliable thing about Gear 5 is that, like, he gets so loony,
Yeah.
he loses track of what his goals are. There we go.
No
No one really knows. Ah, you were right, big hand.
How did I know to say that? Am I a wizard?
Oh my gosh.
The one eye.
これが。
2回もバリア通って死ぬかと思った。
Wow.
Dang.
Why does he keep focusing
Yeah.
on the robot? Oh, maybe he's gonna wear it? Oh, maybe it's activated by Joy Boy.
Oh my. Yeah.
Maybe in the presence of Gear 5 Luffy, it activates. Because in the time gap, they said Joy Boy was the problem, you know? So what if it was that Joy Boy was back then, and that's what powers the robot somehow?
What if Joy Boy is the activator of all the ancient weapons?
What if? Yeah.
Hmm.
I wanted to see more of a fight, though.
I know.
Yeah.
I hope they focus on it completely next episode.
Yes. I know they kind of have to go back and forth so that the story keeps progressing as well, but
Yeah.
fierce kaleidoscopic battle.
That's going to be interesting.
Hmm.
I take that to mean that Luffy is going to be using Kizaru's light against him.
Probably. It's gonna be a laser light show.
Uh-huh. I would not be surprised if next episode he, Kizaru uses like Sacred Jewel or something, and he grabs a few light particles and is like dual wielding lightsabers now.
That would be fantastic.
But then when he goes to use them, they're more like whips, and he's like,
Yeah.
he becomes Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Lasso him.
Yeah. Ah, man, This episode was a big tease.
It was. It was the in-betweener,
Yeah.
unfortunately. I got super excited, wanted to see Luffy smack down Kizaru, and no, instead Luffy got smacked down.
Yeah, I think the main point of this whole episode was just to show that while Kizaru is following his orders, he's very conflicted about it.
Yeah.
And while it's not going to stop him from carrying out his orders,
I wish I knew why.
he has a history with Bonnie, Kuma, and Vegapunk.
Yep.
And he doesn't like what he's having to do, but he knows that he can't disobey orders.
It's clear he considered them all to be friends, really.
Yeah, because he seems to have good memories of all of them.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, Kizaru seems kind of like he keeps himself at arm's length from everyone he's around. Like, he's very aloof.
Yeah.
He may have connections to people, but, like, it keeps sounding like every time someone tries to be familiar with him, he's like, why? Why are you saying that? Like, with Sentomaru calling him uncle, and he's like, why? You
Yeah.
know? So it's like, I don't know, he's friends with them, and yet I think maybe so that he can fulfill orders he doesn't like, he doesn't make really close friends on purpose.
There's got to be something. Like, I wonder if we're going to get kind of a senior Pink moment with Kizaru where we find out that he's aloof and distant and cold to everything for a very specific reason.
Yeah, I need a backstory here.
Like, it's the only thing that keeps him sane. Like,
something.
I'm going to follow orders. I'm going to do what I'm told because last time I didn't do what I'm told.
Something bad
it ended
happened.
in catastrophe for my family or my friends or something.
Yeah.
And so now I just coldly do what I'm told so that I don't experience that again. Something like that, right?
Maybe.
And like his rationale is if I just follow their orders, it's not me doing it, it's them doing it. And so I'm not to blame for this. Or I just wonder if we'll get something like that.
Some kind of mental disconnect of, I'm just, these are just orders. It's not that I'm a bad person. I'm just fulfilling my orders or something. Because it's weird how he's like, I don't want to do this. I don't like this. Let's get this over with quickly. Like,
right. He has zero thoughts of, should I do this?
Right? None. That is not a question. It is simply, I have these orders, I follow these orders.
Yeah.
And it could just be that he knows how powerful the elders are and everything, and he knows that there's nothing he could do anyway. Maybe he's just already resigned to that.
Yeah, he's just kind of given up.
Yeah.
And so he just blindly
And he
follows
kind of
orders.
knows, like, well, it's either I do this and I can spare them a terrible fate, or those above me do it, and who knows how gruesome a death they might suffer.
Yeah. I hope at some point we get an Admiral backstory arc, like mini arc, right? Where we see like, why is Sakazuki so tied to justice even though he's blind to the fact that he's anything but justice?
Yeah.
Why is Kizaru so cold and detached? Why is Kuzan seemingly with a good sense of justice now with the Blackbeard pirates? Like what is going on? I want to know how they were brought up. I want to know what changed. I want to know what caused them to be the way
Why
they
did they
are.
join the Marines? What are their personal beliefs? Not the beliefs they hold because they're Marines, but like what's in their heart for real.
Yeah.
And I know like there's storytelling where you kind of leave it up to your audience to have the intelligent argument about it like we are. And come to their own conclusions about things, and then there's the spell it out storytelling of they tell you exactly what the story is. And I think that on this we need a little bit more spell it out storytelling. But I'm sure they've been doing it this way so far for the intrigue of it, so that you are constantly, like us, wondering what's going on here, what's the motivations, like what's behind all this, what's driving these characters, and trying to figure that out is like rack your brain.
Yeah.
You know?
Discombobulate. Dazed, will attempt wild haymaker.
Eh.
It's interesting that they treated this episode almost like the fight up to Gear 5 was just yada yada. Like, he was already in Snake Man. He was already in the middle of an
just
attack.
Straight to the action.
Like, they didn't have, like, a conversation before the fight. They just were already fighting by the time we got here.
Well, I think Luffy doesn't really want to chat. He just wants to kick Kizaru's butt.
Yeah, but normally they always have that dialogue back and forth before the first, like, true punch is thrown. Like, Luffy obviously ran in and kicked him.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Such
usually
a
there's
good
a little banter back and forth. But this one was like, no, that happened. They've been fighting, and now we're going to throw you in mid-fight. Like, he's already Gear 4 Snake Man.
Yeah, I like that he knew, though, I can't mess around with this. I got to go straight to at least Snake Man to see if I can beat him. Like, he is at least that level. So, and I do like that Kizaru acknowledged, like, I can see how you might beat Kaido.
Yeah, you're strong. All right, I get it. You're not who I met in Marineford, that's for sure.
That was a nice
Sabaody, for that matter. Like, Sabaody, you were nothing. You
look back on that and you're like, oh my gosh, he had no hope back then. We didn't know it, but man, he was not even close to what's in this world.
No, not even. And now he's like having a good time.
Yeah. That's the hilarious part about Gear 5 is he's just like unable to control anything anymore, hardly.
Yeah.
He just goes loony and that's it. But he does control it because he is having a fight. He knows what his goal is, but he definitely gets very like wandery every time he's in Gear 5 because it takes him over so much that he can't just be super serious about his goals anymore. He's laughing, he's bouncing, he's saying things to different people, you know, like, and then he gets to what he's trying to do. So
that almost seems like that's what the mastery of Gear 5 is going to be.
Yeah, when he can actually control that.
Yeah, when he first went into it, it took like a whole episode for him to calm the hell down.
Yeah, and just kind of like get back to, no, I'm fighting Kaido.
Yeah, now we get into it and he's laughing for a bit, and then the next thing you know, Kizaru's getting grabbed by a giant hand, which I predicted, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, like right down to the fact that it was going to be a giant hand that did it.
You know what's interesting about that is that he was grabbed. He didn't just light beam out of it.
Well, he can't. He uses Haki now.
I know, but that's like, you don't see, his hand wasn't Haki'd. You know, it wasn't black or anything like that. So there was no indicator that there was Haki happening.
True.
It was more of like his whole being is just Haki infused when he's Gear 5th or something, because he doesn't have to appear, even though sometimes you do see a black fist or something on his Gear 5 form.
Well, because he wasn't using armament. He was probably using Advanced Conquerors.
Yeah, it had
like
to be.
Kaido. Remember with Kaido, he says, I noticed something during our fight. You cloak yourself in Advanced Conquerors, and then you actually see Kaido with the flame, like the black Conqueror's flame, envelop him. But it's mostly invisible. Nobody ever notices that Kaido is infused in something. He doesn't have like an aura.
Okay.
But people can't hurt Kaido, and it's because he's basically like Gaara with his
like
absolute
Haki
defense.
shield.
Yeah. It's an invisible force field that nobody can see unless you yourself are a wielder of Advanced Conquerors.
Okay.
Then maybe you can see it, but like most
everyone
of the time
else
you don't see
just
it.
thinks they're invincible. Oh my god.
Yeah. So by him grabbing him like that without armament, he's probably cloaked in Advanced Conquerors right now.
Aha.
And
okay, that makes more sense.
And even Kizaru probably doesn't have Advanced Conquerors.
Probably not.
He probably doesn't have Conquerors at all.
I don't know. They always make such a big deal about Conquerors being rare, and then it's like everybody just seems to have it.
Yeah, but thematically, it's Conqueror's Haki, and Kizaru is he just follows orders blindly. It doesn't matter if it's going to kill people that he admires or whatever. He's just a toe the line kind of guy.
Yeah.
He's not the kind of guy that should have Conquerors. He's just not that kind of personality.
I'm pretty sure that Kuzan has it.
But Kuzan has gone against the Navy. He's stood up to be the Admiral against Akainu.
Doesn't Akainu have it as well?
I don't know if he does or not.
Pretty sure he
I don't think
does.
we've seen any indication that he does.
I thought he did.
But in a way, he's also a conqueror. Like he wields power to get what he wants in his brand of justice. So
yeah.
I could easily see him having conquerors too. But of the three of them, Kizaru is just kind of a whatever, I do what I'm told kind of guy. Like he's no conqueror.
Yeah.
I don't think thematically he should ever have conquerors.
Yeah.
So if he does, I'll be disappointed. But I don't think he does. He seems to have observation pretty good though.
Very good.
Which is dangerous for a guy who can turn himself into light. My
Yeah.
God. Like, man, unless you're someone like Luffy
The
or...
speed of light is pretty fast.
Yeah.
That's why no one can even see their fight.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's going to be... it's going to be a bonkers fight if they can't even see it.
And that's why it's going to be a kaleidoscope fight, because to everyone else, it's just going to basically be light shining. Because you can see light, but you can't see the speed of light, you know? So.
Well, think back to the Kaido fight when he was harnessing lightning and he started doing this and it created like this big, almost like gem thing of light in the sky because it was just going so fast that it like created this light shape. It's like, that's probably what's going to happen here is he's going to be using light. Luffy's going to be throwing light back at him. They're both going to be moving so fast that it's just going to look like this random, like, Aurora Borealis type fight or some kind of craziness.
Sure will be pretty.
Yeah.
Prettiest fight you ever did see.
Meanwhile, we get just a little taste that Zoro versus Lucci is going to be injected in there, too.
I want to see that, too.
And honestly, I hope that one ends before it even really starts. I hope that Zoro is just like, nah. Like, sir, you were a villain back before the time skip. You really don't have a place here anymore.
I mean, Lucci got better, so there is that.
He got better, but...
He improved, just like the Straw Hats did, so...
But not as much as they did.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Or at least that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping Zoro...
But I mean, Awakening is no small thing, so he is very strong.
He is. But I mean, Kaku also awakened, and he's a small thing.
I don't know. That nose is huge.
Like, Zoro handled him pretty readily. Like, Zoro wasn't even awake.
But Kaku's always been much lower power than Lucci.
Yeah, but if the idea of awakening means that you had to work really hard, like, even still, he's just not anything compared to Zoro.
I think in terms of power scaling, they both scaled up probably about the same amount, but Kaku was always much lower than Lucci.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's still an awakening, but in a less powerful person.
I guess so, yeah. But it takes me back to what Kaido said, that devil fruits will never conquer the world. It's Haki.
Yeah.
And so Zoro, I would argue
Zoro's
that
got
Zoro...
conquerors. You know he's got conquerors.
Yeah. I would argue that Zoro's Haki is almost as good as Luffy's.
Yeah, definitely.
And so you look at Lucci or Kaku, who are like, okay, well, this guy's just a swordsman. He doesn't even have a devil fruit. This is going to be easy. And then Zoro's just going to be like, what are you talking about? Let me show you why you're wrong.
Yeah, Zoro's the king of hell.
Yeah.
He's going to banish you to hell.
Yeah. He's like, and in terms of like Lucci being fast, okay, so was King.
Yeah.
King was ridiculously fast.
Yeah, I feel like King was a much tougher opponent than even awakened Lucci.
Yeah.
Not that I've seen a lot of awakened Lucci, but King was really tough. And he had the Lunarian advantage. So long as that flame's a burning, you're not going to hurt him, you know?
Yeah.
So Lucci doesn't have anything like that. So I don't see him being a huge challenge for Zoro.
I mean, so far, it looks like awakened Lucci is really just, he's faster.
Probably stronger, too.
I mean, yeah, he probably hits harder.
Hits harder, moves faster, things
he can
like
use
that.
hand pistol now.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of stuff. But, like, overall, it seems like it just scaled up his strength a bit.
Yep.
And his speed a lot.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it didn't do anything, like, super fancy.
Yeah. Because, like, if awakening also means that you are able to affect your surroundings, like, I don't know what that would mean for Lucci. Because he's Paramecia type?
He's
Or zone.
He's zone.
Zone. He's a zone type. So in awakened zones, it's not like you're gonna make the ground another cheetah. You know?
Well, no, I think zone types typically don't affect things around them.
Yeah, I don't think they can.
I think they just have different transformations, and their awakening is their final transformation.
Yeah.
I think it's like the Paramecia or the
and
other
the Logia.
Yeah, the Logia types that can affect the environment around them, which makes
Yeah.
Luffy interesting because he's a zone, but he can affect the world around him.
I think
Like the mythical types seem to have extra
special powers.
special rules, you know?
That don't apply to the rest.
Yeah.
It's because if Luffy is a zone, then it's not like he just becomes a cat or a dog or a moose or whatever, you know?
An awakened moose,
Ooh, the moose.
given to a moosey fate.
Now, Din, I leave you to your moosey fate. Say moosey fate. Your moosey fate.
But his is a god. So with becoming a god, you get godlike powers. That makes sense. But if you do become a moose, you don't moosify the ground and the buildings. What would it be? Antlers come out of everything? Like,
Yeah, that would be...
it wouldn't work.
No, that would be weird. It's weird even just hearing you say it. So yeah, seeing it on screen would be just odd. Like everything becomes hooves.
It's like, what does that do?
Like everybody's head just gets reshaped as a hoof, and they're like, "Oh, what's going on?" Yeah,
Everything gets a little furry.
yeah, everything's just fuzzed up. This is a weird tangent now.
Yes, it is.
So we still don't know what Kuma's after.
No, I was really thinking they were going to tell us at this point. The only thing I can think of is that I'm pretty sure that we did see Bonnie at Marijoy. She was running with Sabo at one point, and they were looking for Kuma, I believe. And then they break off, and Bonnie ends up leaving. I thought it's around the same time that, like, Vivi left and stuff like that, right? Or am I getting my timeline mixed up?
I don't know. You might be right, but those episodes were so sporadically injected amongst everything else that I'm having a hard time, like, really remembering exactly how it all played out. But I think Bonnie was there at one point trying to save.
She was there. And
because you're right. She ran into Sabo saying like, "I'm here to save Kuma," and he's like, "What a coinkydink, so am I."
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then she left saying, "Take care of Kuma for me. I'm gonna go find Vegapunk." Yes. Memory activated.
Yeah.
So then she went off to what's the island?
Egghead.
Egghead. The name of the arc. My brain, it does not work. So
right
she
there
went
on the
off to
screen.
Egghead, and Kuma and Sabo went to Ivankov's island.
Mm-hmm.
Name I always forget. So that took quite some time. The only reason Kuma got back so fast is his self-paw ability, you know? So, yeah, okay. Maybe he saw a glimpse of Bonnie or something and thinks she's still there?
Maybe.
Or our previous idea that maybe Bonnie's mother is not dead and she's actually a slave and he's looking for her.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's got to be something.
I feel like the only reasons he would go back would be because of his family. You know?
Yeah, because the only thing that makes me think it's not about Bonnie is that Bonnie was sneaking around, and I don't recall him ever catching a glimpse of her.
Doesn't mean he didn't.
Doesn't mean he didn't, but there's no indication that he did, so
yeah.
I don't know that it's
or maybe he heard Sabo talking, and Sabo said, "I ran into Bonnie," and that's all it took. He was like, "Bonnie's at Marijoy? I gotta go get her."
Yeah.
You know?
Meanwhile, some interesting stuff happened with Sakazuki that was very subtle.
Oh?
He said, I didn't realize you still bleed like human
Yeah.
blood. And when Kuma launched himself away, there's this weird flashback where he was talking to Bonnie again.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like and in the flashback Sakazuki says he doesn't have any of himself left. He's not coming back. And I think that was Sakazuki reminiscing about that moment, but then realizing what Kuma just did in front of my eyes very clearly shows that there's still some Kuma in there.
Yeah.
He's not just a robot. And I think Sakazuki saw that, and I think it made him pause for a moment. You know, because otherwise he probably would have tried to pursue him pretty hard, but I mean, not that you can catch up to Kuma, but
I think he just knew it was pointless to try to pursue the Paw Blink. Like, he
Yeah.
couldn't. There's no way.
but I do think it made him rethink like who Kuma is right now.
I don't think he cares.
I don't know that he cares either, but there seems to be some kind of
Kuma could be his best friend and he'd still make a donut out of him, too.
well, that's probably true, but it does seem like Kuma was well known amongst the Admirals, and therefore so was Bonnie.
Yep.
And there's some kind of backstory there that showed that they were all like at least in the same circle for a while, and so they all know each other. And
Well, I mean...
and I think it made him realize that Kuma is not dead.
yeah.
Kuma's mostly dead, but he's not dead.
Yeah, but I guess I just don't understand if there's any significance to that when it comes to kind of... because he just seems like such a heartless bastard to me. I don't know.
He does, but
I don't think he has empathy.
no. But I guess we'll figure out something at some point, but part of me hopes that one day we'll find out that Sakazuki is as hard-nosed as he is because he's trying to build the military power required to take out the celestial dragons, because that's his true justice, and he's just not letting him know. But
I just don't
I don't
believe
know that
there's
we'll
good
ever
in
get
him.
there.
I really don't.
Yeah, I don't know that we'll ever get there, but that's just a
However, in
random thought.
anime, there's so rarely just an evil bastard for the sake of being an evil bastard. There's
Yeah.
always some bleeding heart reason why they're a bad guy, and you need to sympathize with this villain.
Yeah.
Always, just about. It's rare that the villain is just evil.
Right.
And to me, Akainu is just evil, but working on the Marine side, thinking that he's doing justice,
Yeah.
But truly, he's a very villainous guy. Like,
He is. But Oda is so good at what he does that I constantly question, is he a Doflamingo or is he a Senior Pink?
yeah.
Which one is he going to be in the end?
I actually really loved Doflamingo is evil just because he's evil. It's
Yeah.
so rare, and that's him. Like,
he's
he
also-
was born bad.
But he's also a celestial dragon.
But he
which
was like,
more times than not, they're just pure evil.
yeah,
There are
but
exceptions, but
he was born into a family of celestial dragons that felt that their privilege was wrong. His brother felt that everything was wrong to the point of going against his own brother.
Yep.
It shows that from his core, from birth, Dofi is evil.
yeah,
Like, he just has an evil mindset, and that's who he is.
yeah. Because it wasn't the things that happened to Dofi's family that made him evil. He was an entitled, spoiled, evil brat even when he still had his privilege.
Mm-hmm.
It was what happened to his family that gave him a target.
Yeah.
He now knew who to target, and
Yeah.
it was basically
He just wanted
everyone.
vengeance for being treated poorly when he thought, I'm a god.
yeah,
I should not have to
I should be
endure a
revered."
single hardship in my whole life.
yeah,
And yet you did this to my family.
right. I should be revered, not reviled. So
Yeah.
now you die because you chose the wrong R.
Yeah. You didn't worship me, so you get to die.
yeah,
So yeah, like I think that the greatest argument for Dofi is just evil is Rosinante. Because they were brothers in the same family, in the same environment, the same influences all around them. Dofi's evil, Rosinante's not.
yep.
So
That's true. All right, so next week it looks like we've got the big fight.
I can't wait. Next week, I think, is going to be what I wanted this week.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
excited for that.
I was a little worried it'd be a little toying with the food this time, and then the next time would be the real thing.
I
so.
should have known better when the Kuma thing was going to be a part of this episode, because that takes up some of the valuable runtime.
Yeah.
Therefore, that meant they were going to be going to different sections of the story. I should have just known.
Yep. Yep. But I guess we'll see next week. Hopefully it's going to be a really big one. But yeah, I think we've talked out everything that we can talk out for this time. So, yeah.
So like this video and make sure that you smash the subscribe button so that you don't miss any of our videos coming up. We don't always post on a perfect schedule, so you gotta subscribe, hit your notifications, all that jazz, so that you know when our videos come out.
That's right. And if you enjoy our content and you want to see us make more and grow, you have different ways that you can support us with a little graphic here we got. We have a number of affiliate links with like Amazon, TCGPlayer, eBay, a few others. So if you were going to make a purchase anyway and you want to click through our link, it gives us a little credit for that. So that would be very helpful. We also have a merch shop with some designs in it. We're going to be adding to them over the next couple weeks. So look forward to that. And we have a Discord server now. So we got a small little budding server that, right now it's just a group of us in there.
We're
just
having a lot
chatting
of fun
about
in there.
TCG. We're kind of letting each other know if you're into the TCG content, we're kind of letting each other know where to find stuff, which is very, very helpful. So
heads up on product.
Yep.
Talking about cards you're interested in, things like that. But we talk about the anime and other things, all things One Piece in there. So feel free to jump on in.
Yeah. So help us out. Be greatly appreciated. For now, I'm Mike.
Kasha.
And we're Billion Beri. And if you want to see more reactions, you can check them out here. And if you want to see our AMV called Hero, you can check it out over there. See you next time.
Bye, guys.